Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ruby Series Grand Final between the Carina Leagues Club Tigers and the Ipswich Jets netball. Two great games. I'm joined in commentary this afternoon with Karen Top. Toppy, are you looking forward to this game this afternoon?
I'm thinking this should be an amazing game tonight, Simone. Tigers this year have had a really consistent season. They've been front runners throughout, and then Ipswich Jets have really fought their way through the final series. They had a tough match with Cougars, which they won in overtime, then did really well against Wildcats last week, and they've come into this grand final looking to win.
Yeah, great. So if we have a look at the Tigers starting lineup today, Poppy Larson will start back at goal shooter, Emily Gage in at goal attack, Lillian Gray wing attack, Alice Morgu at centre, Jasmine James in at wing defence, Shelley Rosenoff at goal defence and Madison Ryan at goalkeeper. Subs Lynette Charles, Grace Hughes and Natasha Robinson, coached by Erin Burns. Like you said, the Tigers very dominant this season, so looking forward to seeing what they do this afternoon. Who's starting for the Jets today?
So the Jets have goal shooter Bryony Payne, goal attack Sam Ryan, wing attack Lucy Walker, centre Olivia Ridley, wing defence Stevie Lingman, goal defence Sky Smith, goalkeeper Emily Gilbert, and their substitutions tonight, Georgia Bloxman, Bella Wren and Emily Salmons. Their coach is Camille Reek.
Fantastic atmosphere down here at the Queensland State Netball Centre. We've got lights, we've got music, we've got on-court commentators, we've got it all, and so we should for this grand final, shouldn't we?
Absolutely. This has been the first year of the Heart Sapphire Series and the Ruby Series. It's been a great competition. It's been building throughout the year, and we're looking forward to the culmination of it tonight here for this grand final. The players have been treated to a Firebirds type of atmosphere here on the main court, and it's fantastic to see.
Yeah, fantastic seeing the Jets enter onto the court here in their starting positions. Oh, Stevie Lingman looks a little bit nervous there running through the lights.
It is a little daunting as the players come through the fireworks there in the corner. It does feel like they're going to be hit as they come through.
Look great, and great to see all the beautiful smiles as they come through and enter the court.
Absolutely, and it's been a great weekend here at the Queensland State Netball Centre all weekend. We've been hosting the Murray Little Shield competition, which is a nationwide competition for intellectually disabled athletes. They've been having such a great time and so much fun. Those games are just finished on some of the community courts this evening, I should say.
Yeah, fantastic. And we see the Tigers entering.
What do you think we might be expecting from the Tigers tonight?
Look, I think the Tigers are strong all over the court. They've got fantastic experience down in their goaling end, particularly, and also, some young and exciting talent through that centre court as well. So I think it's going to be a really tough game, and I'm really hoping for a close one.
Yes, it will be interesting to see as they get going. The athletes look to be pumped up by the music as well.
Yeah, great crowd as well this afternoon down here at the Queensland State Netball Centre.
Our umpires for tonight's game, Cara Wenenbaum and Claire Johnson. They'll also be looking forward to a fantastic match. They equally have to earn their right to be here and umpiring for the grand finals.
Yeah, the Jets really patient here with their build-up, but Tigers making them earn every pass and every take at the moment.
Yeah, there's been some strong defensive pressure at this point in time from the Tigers, really working hard to keep the Jets away from the circle edge.
So the Jets similarly have an experienced goaling circle with Bryony Payne and Sam Ryan.
They'll be looking to move into their rhythm fairly early in the match if they can, and it's always good for Bryony when she's able to take that first goal of the match successfully.
So the Tigers now in possession, so we'll see what they do. So a little bit easier for them in this first play for them to get it into the goal circle, but
the Tigers looking to work really hard across that transverse line to hold the Jets up.
Yeah, look, definitely. Great challenge there by Jasmine James. I would have thought she might have gone over an ankle, but no, she looks okay.
It was awkward in the way that she was moving after that happened. It's a challenge in a grand final to deal with the nerves prior to the game, and then for each team to figure out how they settle quickly and move into the movement patterns that they're used to. Unfortunately, that one just being a bit of an airball in the end.
Yeah, a little bit of a nervous shot there by Bronnie Payne, but I'm sure she'll get them out of her system quickly.
Yes. Good patience from the Tigers there as well. Seems to be a bit of a theme so far, so it'll be interesting to see whether the opposition can push the other team off their game early.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, both teams just trying to settle and work into their rhythm. Lovely shot there by Poppy Larson.
Poppy again has a lot of experience, having previously played in Div 1 teams in the old competition. She's now playing here in this Ruby Series comp. She's been out of the game for a little bit.
Yeah, she was away from the game for a little bit, but it was great. Great to see her back, and she's got such a lovely shot. So definitely, exactly what you need in any game, but particularly big games like this, the ability, to give it to your goaler and know that she's going to put it through the hoop. So another nervous play there, I think, by the Jets, just not able to find that connection in their goal circle.
It was a good clearing pass, but sometimes the challenge with those clearing passes is whether your teammates have caught up and having the next option available.
Like, I think the Tigers, again, really patient in their play, but they're being really smart with the ball and just not trying to overplay it at this minute.
Emily Gage on that occasion being smart about using the baseline to try and clear some of the clutter and re-enter the court.
Great shot again by Larson. Really their go-to girl at the hoop in these first few minutes, but why not? She's she's not let them down yet, and I don't think she will for the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
Oh, lovely shot there by Gage. She must have heard me, Toppy. I thought, I'm going to
did.
show you. Good on her.
And as we found with other games, both across these series and also at SSN level, you need both your shooter and the goal attack taking some of the workload. Otherwise, the defenders can start to team up on one.
Yeah, definitely. It becomes a bit predictable, but to the Tigers' credit so far, both goalers happy to go to the post. So a let off there for the Jets. Probably do need to score in these early stages. I mean, it is early, but just to settle the nerves and help get them into a rhythm and give them a bit of confidence.
Probably at the moment, just in attack, they'll be looking for that second option. It's tending to be one-off offers to the ball at the moment, so for them to be able to get their structures working and have everyone looking towards where's the offer and where's the second option if the first one's shut down by great defence.
Yeah, look, definitely. So an attempt here by Sam Ryan. A good lesson of why you should follow your shot to put yourself in the contest for the rebound. Loving the music that we have in the background this afternoon, having commentated most of the season. It definitely feels like a final today, doesn't it?
It does. The stadium also has a little bit of a different feel. And full credit to the venue staff here at Queensland State Netball Centre, because on Friday night the Bullets hosted their first home game. So Friday night we had a basketball court in front of us, and with a very quick changeover they've switched it back to a netball court.
Great.
Which is fantastic for this final.
Just dropped that one a little bit short, Bronnie Payne.
And when the nerves are there,
Yes.
it can be really difficult for the shooters to find their range.
Yeah, look, she definitely looks a little bit tight on that shot. So great contest there by Smith. Put enough pressure to create that error there.
Sky Smith is extremely experienced in these competitions as well. She's spent time with some of the other franchises in the past. She's been consistent performer across the goal defence, wing defence, and in more recent years playing centre as well. She's very determined on the ball, as we saw there before, and so the Jets will be looking to make use of this ball down the court.
Yeah, look, absolutely. Probably needs to reward that effort, but also just give themselves a little bit of confidence by going to the post. They've had plenty of possession, so that certainly hasn't been their issue. And that's a great shot there by Sam Ryan.
So they're just staying in touch at the moment. Carina Leagues Club Tigers leading 6-3 at this point. Ipswich Jets just seem to have stepped up their defensive pressure at the moment. The Tigers getting caught in a very small space.
Yeah, another great contest there by Gilbert. So they're just, like you said, they're just applying that pressure to win the ball back, but they really need their attack line to convert to reward this effort. Because if they don't, the Tigers will definitely punish them.
Jets just need to do a little bit of reorganisation there after one of those players was on the floor briefly.
That whole play looked a lot better. Much more open and a lot more depth on their play.
Yeah.
So the Jets starting to use a lot more width and depth in their play as opposed to just trying to fight through that middle channel like they were earlier on in this match.
Centre doing a great job there on the side just to stay balanced. The Tigers just able to get a little hand in there and able to turn over the ball.
Yeah, both defensive ends making the attacking lines have to really work and earn every ball that they take.
That was good placement in that pass into Poppy Larson. She was able to pull it in quite well and then able to finish off.
So great to see young Alice Morga playing in at centre this afternoon. Played for the Queensland 17s early in the year here at the Queensland State Netball Centre. So fantastic to see such a young athlete playing in that centre role and really taking control of her team this afternoon. Looks like there was a lack of understanding off that centre pass there, unfortunately, for Ridley.
She thought she had a teammate behind her, and it was actually Gilbert as goalkeeper, so not able to come into the centre third to complete that pass.
But thankfully Gilbert did enough then to help win the ball back.
Yeah, she's playing some really tight one-on-one defence at the moment, so Poppy Larson's just going to need to look at some more options in her prelim movements to be able to create some space.
Emily Gilbert was one of the finalists for the Ruby MVP award this year. Won, of course, by Martina Rikas from the Brisbane North Cougars. But I think a finalist, is a great achievement in itself.
Absolutely. And the defenders often feel like they don't get enough accolades.
Yeah, the recognition, absolutely.
When they do get opportunities and they make it into that final list, I think that's always a good thing.
A relief shot there by Larson. She looked like she took a big sigh after she put that one away.
Carina Leagues Club Tigers just holding on to their lead at the moment, 9-5. It's always interesting this last 5 minutes of a quarter to see how both teams work their way into the break. Definitely,
and as you say that, Bryony Payne took a similar sigh after she was able to shoot that goal. So yeah, definitely, I think hopefully the nerves have started to die down a little bit and the teams are able to just play their natural game. But like you said, the Tigers are just, maintaining that lead. Their play is really simple but really effective and is why they have got this 4-goal lead at the moment. Great work there by Jasmine James on the edge. Unfortunately, Maddie Ryan asked to stand out of play. So Maddie Ryan and Shelley Rosenoff, the defenders for the Tigers, just
needing to work on what the umpire's calling at this point in time, coming up with a few more strategies to be able to find their position and have good space.
A little bit of a miscommunication there for the Tigers, but able to maintain control.
Probably potentially just moving a little early to drop into that space, but able to get away with it on that occasion and continuing to shoot well at this time.
Oh, well done. Great turnover there by Morga.
Always helpful as coaches when your centre is working hard in defence and are able to get those turnovers for you.
Yeah, definitely. So it's almost the last 3 minutes of this first quarter. The Tigers have definitely, asserted their authority quite early in this match, taking a 5-goal lead. But it's been really their percentage netball so far, hasn't it? They've just done all those little things right.
And in those couple of minutes when the Jets had really stepped up their defensive pressure and they were still working out how to respond. It's taken a little bit of time, but I feel like they're now just working a little bit more effectively again in their attack end.
Yeah, look, definitely.
Changing up the pace and variety of the leads.
Great turnover there by Gilbert. Oh, like a thief in the night, Jasmine James almost was lucky enough to turn that over. Lingman didn't have eyes for the ball. Eyes for the play, and just James, unlucky.
It was borderline, that one, I think.
Yeah. Great touch there by Ryan to keep that ball in play and also get it to one of her players on the edge of the circle.
It's one of those times that the coach is like, "Was great work. Now I want you to pull that one in."
Yeah.
If he can get a hand to it.
Another great opportunity, but
So Tigers just not quite supporting their defenders there at the moment. That was good work from Alice Morga. I think she'd moved off the circle thinking that the Jets were going to score that goal and not quite backing up for the tips that the defenders were getting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, look, as we come to almost 30 seconds left of this first quarter, what's been the difference for you, Toppy?
I think that the Tigers have responded more effectively when they've been under pressure, that they've come up with a different option and been more consistent in their shots to goal under pressure as well at this time.
Yeah, look, definitely. That certainly has been the difference for me as well, is that the Tigers have been able to convert every opportunity they've created for themselves. The Jets not so effective. They've been able to turn the ball over across the court, but just not able to put it to goal.
Yeah. And it's times like that when things are not quite going to plan, of potentially looking at, well, actually, I might need to reset that ball, get a bit closer to the post.
Yeah, definitely. So if we go into the first quarter break with the Tigers currently leading 15-7 to the Jets, I think both teams are still in it. Still lots of netball to be played, but certainly, the Tigers have, set their terms for this game with a great first quarter lead. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back. Welcome back to the second quarter of the Ruby Grand Final between the Ipswich Jets and the Carina League's Tigers. Currently the Tigers are leading 15-7, but it's still early days, isn't it, Toppy?
Always. In grand finals particularly, no scoreline is safe. I sometimes take a breath if you get out to 15-20, and that doesn't often happen in grand final.
Absolutely. Look, I think the young Tigers have been so clinical in their performance so far and will be looking, I'm sure, to continue that. The Jets, on the other hand, have had opportunities, haven't been able to convert at times, but I'm sure they would have had lots of instruction in the quarter break to change that.
Yeah, and it does look like the Jets have made a couple of changes in this quarter. Bella Rin has come into goal shooter, and it looks like they've got a change in wing attack. No, Lucy Walker is still in wing attack at this point in time. So just looking to change up that shooting circle and see if they can get the ball through the ring more effectively by making better space.
Yeah, look, not a bad change, I think. Great intercept there by Alice Morgan. She does that so very well. She's so unassuming and comes through at the last minute.
And for me, that's been one of the things across this season is to see Alice, as a young athlete, really work on her consistency of performance out there and to be able to run a strong 60 minutes.
Yeah, look, definitely a challenge for any young athlete, absolutely. But I think, watching her over the last couple of weeks, I think she's definitely made some great improvements in that sense. Strong challenge there by Maddie Ryan.
She just mistimed that one a little.
Yeah, she read it so beautifully, and I think the Jets are going to have to be wary about that this afternoon because she has the ability to take it.
Yes, Maddie does like a good intercept coming out of the circle. Probably just needed to change her angle a little bit so she was going in the line of the ball. And maybe one or two more steps.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Walker obviously read that was happening and changed her angle as well. So great netball.
Great switch by the Tigers defenders in the circle. They were able to change the player that they were covering and then intercept that lofted ball, which was really what they were aiming for. It's great when a plan comes together.
Yeah, absolutely. They would have trained for that all year, and why not? What better time to do it is in a grand final.
And I do know that communication between Maddie and Shelley is something that they've been working on a lot this season, and it's good to see it paying off more often for them in the circle.
Yeah, definitely. And Shelley Rosenoff was also a finalist, I believe, for the Ruby MVP this year. So great to see both defenders, across both teams being, recognised for their fantastic performance across the season.
And when you consider it, even in the game today, between Shelley Rosenoff and Em Gilbert, they've both got their hands onto lots of ball, got some really good turnovers as well.
Yeah, definitely Rosenoff just involved in that turnover there, as you spoke.
Shelley's been in the Tigers Tier 2 team for quite some time before we changed into the Heart and Ruby series. She has a lot of experience. I feel like she's another player that's really gained consistency across that time. She has stepped up and played in some of the Sapphire Series games as well.
Yeah, great. Fantastic roll there by Larson. Just not able to, but she's... it was out of court, but fantastic challenge.
So she has to touch her foot down on the court again before she can touch the ball. She'd done so well to continue contesting it.
Beautiful roll, had to shoot from out of court and then still tried to come and contest the rebound. Sam Ryan, being the shortest in that goal circle, probably needs to lose her defender a little bit. It's hard for our feeders to find her at the minute. But a great shot there. So the Jets,
They probably just need a little bit more dynamic movement happening in the rotations.
Exactly.
For that to work, though, they've got to be really looking for their partner.
Fantastic feed there by Walker, and there was that dynamic movement you were talking about. Bellerin used the baseline to a tee on that one.
And that's something that Bella's very, very good at, being able to drive one way on the base and then timing the movement out to take the pass. The challenge for the feeders to pick it up.
Yep, decide it and let the ball go.
Jets will be just looking now to try and build some momentum in their attacking game.
Yeah, they'd probably be looking to get a couple back, at least in this quarter, not to let, this 8 or 9 goal lead that it is at the moment get out any more, but also try and win some ball back just so they don't necessarily have to make the lead up in this quarter as such, but they certainly want to make some ground. If they don't, then the time starts to run out.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Rin not able to convert that one.
The Tigers defenders are putting really good pressure over the ball. They're maintaining that pressure for the 3 seconds. They seem to have adjusted their distance, which was a bit of an issue for them early in the first quarter, and now really hassling the Jets shooters. Poppy Larson has such a deceptively good vertical leap.
Yes, she does. She absolutely does.
And on that occasion, she went out really straight for that ball, which was always good to see.
Another great shot there by Larson. Tactical timeout called by the Tigers, it looks like. So they've taken the lead to 11, Toppy.
Yeah. Interesting time for them to take a timeout because it looked like they were on a roll.
Yeah, look, definitely. Sometimes teams do like to take that just to regroup and have a think about it. We usually see that, like you said, when the momentum is against them, but when they have the momentum, with them, good. You see them going to the bench, the Tigers, which is unusual. I've not seen that this season. Usually they tend to stand on the court, but hey, I'm sure Erin Burns has a method to her madness there. And why would you question her when her team has been dominant all season and they're currently ahead by 11 in this grand final match?
Yeah, Erin's another one of our more experienced coaches. She's initially a regional athlete, played for the Steel Cats in time gone by, then has moved into the coaching ranks. She's been doing a great job with Tigers for a few years now. I've been talking with her at different times across her journey, and she's had plenty of ups and downs as she's built the culture within this team, as well as being able to perform at a level and intensity that's now led them to being here in this grand final.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's been a lot of hard work.
Yes, coaching is, isn't it? So well done to her. Her team is looking really sharp at this minute, and certainly the Jets are going to have to lift probably almost by 2 levels if they want to be in contention. Like we said, as time runs out, it becomes harder for them, but also as the score just increases. And
yeah, it does look like the Jets have made some changes after that tactical timeout. Georgia Bloxham's come into goal defence, and looks like Sky Smith has moved across to wing defence. So they'll be looking to see if they can put a little bit more pressure on the Tigers moving into their attacking end. Georgia Bloxham is another one of those defenders that really reads the ball in the space quite well and likes to take a great intercept.
Great pressure of the shot there by Gilbert. She's great at having that ability to turn the ball over when her team really needs it.
Yes.
What her team needs to do now for her is convert this. And unfortunately not able to stick that pass at the end there by Rin to Ryan.
Is that challenge? Because the Tigers defenders were really covering Sam Ryan on the baseline. So potentially Bella just needed to look for someone around the circle edge, see if she can find another option. Perhaps play herself in?
Yeah, well, given that they were doubling Ryan, it probably was potentially the better option, but great rebound there by Larson.
Great rebound and well finished off by Poppy Larson once again.
We've talked about it on and off across the season, seen similarly in the SSN. always interesting to see how teams come out of the tactical timeout, whether it works in the way that they intended or not.
Yeah.
We know that they train a lot.
Yeah, look, definitely. And I mean, I don't think that that timeout that was called by the Tigers when they seem to have really, good momentum has affected them. If anything, it's made them come out stronger. So, well done to them. The Jets, on the other hand, had that opportunity to regroup. They are the team that are chasing at the moment.
A lot of the time, the Tigers are able to actually be ball side or in front of their defence quite often, which is allowing them to get the ball down court a little easier.
Yes.
It's probably one of the rare times that Shelley's been on the outside and was put under a little pressure, but was able to pull it in strong.
Yeah, it was a well-placed ball there by James.
Great sweep of the circle from Poppy Larson.
Yeah, an equally great shot. Such a sweet shot she has. So the challenge here for the Jets is to make sure that they're converting every ball that they get. We're still with 5 minutes to go in this first half. There's still plenty of time. It's a hard task, but it's certainly not impossible. But the only way that they can make inroads is to make sure that they're putting to goal all the ball that they get. Well done there by Ryan. She was asked a lot by Rin there to take that ball. I don't think she was necessarily expecting it, but to her credit, she controlled it and took it. Fantastically weighted ball there by Morga.
It's always interesting, that ball that goes up in the air. That one looked like it floated a while. Thankfully, that the positioning was really good.
Yes, definitely. So we see the Jets taking their timeout. So each team entitled to one tactical timeout per half.
That's my understanding of the rules.
Yeah, so the Tigers obviously just took theirs a little while ago and the Jets are taking advantage of theirs now. So you can see, obviously, lots of instruction, but Reek doesn't seem flustered. She's just giving really clear instructions to her team, and you can see they're all engaged and nodding their heads. So they understand what is being asked of them. It's just their challenge now to go and execute that and do what they know that they can do and have been doing all season. But obviously in this situation in a grand final, the pressure's just that little bit more, isn't it?
Absolutely. And as coaches, that's one of the areas that we certainly work on a lot through both our coaching workshops and our coaching accreditation courses, and I know it's an area that Camille's been focusing on particularly more recently. She's just been successful in gaining her elite coaching accreditation, so congratulations to her.
Yeah, well done to her, absolutely.
So the challenge as a coach is to be able to deliver the message, engage your athletes in the messages, and to do it as concisely as you can in a very short space of time.
And bring home this last 5 minutes of the second quarter.
And to do it in a language that they understand.
Yeah, definitely. And the benefit, I think, of working with them all year is to be able to do that. We see that there has been another change to the Jets with Stevie Lingerman going into centre. Stevie's captain of this side and obviously highly experienced, so probably just needs the Jets looking just for a little bit more direction and control in that front line in particular. Stevie has a great defensive game as well, so it's not a really good change, I think, to help try and lift this. And that's a great example there of the work that she's prepared to do.
Yeah, the experience of Stevie up against the youth of Alice Morga. I'm sure it'll be a very interesting battle.
Yeah, definitely. So the Jets are doing a great job defensively as a unit. Probably just struggling a little bit in their attack end.
Just looking at the moment like they need to do a little work on getting their balance of the court and being able to perhaps stagger or offset against their teammates so that they've got a little bit more room to drive into.
Yeah.
They're looking a little squished into space, which I think Tigers are doing a pretty good job of enforcing.
Yeah, the Tigers' defensive effort is, fantastic, and they've been able to set ball up for each other. Absolutely, but I agree that when the Jets have been able to use their width and depth in attack, it's definitely helped them.
Jets just finding a little better movement to the circle, however, just misreading that one on that occasion. Tigers will probably be hoping just to settle here because the Jets had got a couple of goals in a row.
Yeah, definitely. For the last 3 minutes, of this first half, it's been played at an intense effort. Well done there to Bloxham. Really challenged hard on that.
Good. And again, we see the defenders really working hard at confusing the space, working more of a split circle where they're working in the space rather than staying on one player, and able to work the switch really well.
Yeah, definitely. Jasmine James, another fantastic intercept there on the edge of the circle. At times the Jets look a bit rushed and frustrated in that attack line. Probably just need to, almost take a leaf out of the Tigers' book and be a little bit more patient and just allow things to unfold as opposed to forcing them. Hard luck there. Bloxham did everything right then.
She was in the right position.
Court. Yeah, got her hands to the ball. Great tip.
That's that experience of Stevie Lingman, I think, really pushing Alice Morga along the edge of the circle and towards the other opponent so that it squeezed her out of the space.
Definitely. This is where the Jets are getting stuck, is in this goal circle, having to work really hard. At times we'd like to see them working a little bit more together.
Yes.
Ren and Ryan.
Well finished there by the Jets.
So Jets have just been able to peg back a couple. They've brought the lead from the Tigers back to 10. So the score's sitting at 25-15 at the moment. We're in the last minute and a bit of this second quarter.
Great shot there by Gage.
M. Gage, when she just goes to the post, has such a sweet shot.
So in the last minute now of this first half.
1 minute to go. Let's hear it, fans. Let's get
Jasmine James, she's been fantastic so far in this game. But Stevie Lingman was also both captains really trying to help their teams.
And both being effective because they're using their outside arm well, keeping their body up nice and straight and just being able to work around.
Yeah, look, definitely. Great shot there by Rin. A shot that their team needed, something that they can take into this second half.
So the Tigers probably just getting caught a little bit at the moment with one off, and they're getting caught behind, whereas they'd got away from that earlier in the match.
Yeah, great shot there by
They'll be
Gage.
trying to force the Jets to take this.
Yeah, needs to be direct, the Jets. Oh, fantastic take there by Rosen. Great first half of this Ruby Grand Final. The Tigers currently leading 26-16, but the Jets did a little bit to make up a little bit of ground in that in the last minutes of that second quarter, didn't they?
Absolutely. Like, they came out of that last tactical timeout having more drive in their attack end, getting onto the circle edge probably a little easier than before. Part of that due to Stevie Lingham coming into the centre. And then Bella Wren able to complete a couple of really good shots under pressure.
Yeah, definitely. So fantastic job by both teams there. They'll be looking to have a big rest in this at this half-time break to take them into this second half. So we're going to take a short break, but we will be back for the second half of the Ruby Grand Final. Welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre for the Ruby Grand Final between the Carina League's Tigers and the Ipswich Jets. Currently, after the first half, the Tigers are leading 27-16. I'm joined again in commentary with Karen Toppy, what did you think of the first half?
It has been some really good netball. While on the scoreboard the Tigers have a bit of a buffer, we know that at any moment the Jets can really work their way back into this game. Both teams have taken some tactical timeouts. Both have had some mixed results after those tactical timeouts. Had some changes along the way. There's been some strong defensive pressure. Looking forward to a great second half.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're in for some more great netball in this second half. The Tigers have just been clinical for me. They've been so very patient and controlled and really smart in their play, particularly in the attack end. And their goalers have both been willing to turn and go to the post, which has been not only effective, but why wouldn't you, given they've both been on their shot this afternoon. The Jets, on the other hand, they've really scrapped and fought hard to not allow the Tigers to take a bigger lead than what they already have, but they've also made opportunities for themselves. They've just not been able to convert them to apply that scoreboard pressure. So anything can happen, but certainly the Tigers are in the driver's seat as we move into this second half.
And it does look like the Jets have made another change out there with Bryony Payne re-entering the game now at wing attack. And we have seen that at different times. Actually, all three of the goalers for the Jets can play across goal shooter, goal attack and wing attack. So they're just continuing to look for a combination in that attacking end that's going to give them the drive and the results that they're after.
Yeah, look, definitely. And why not? This is the last game for the season for both teams. The Jets have come from third position to make this grand final this afternoon, and having watched some of their games throughout the back end of their season and certainly during the final series, their coach has not been afraid to do that, and it's worked for her. So why not throw everything out there this afternoon? Yeah.
Sam Ryan doing well there under double pressure from Maddie Ryan and Shelley Rosenoff for them to score that goal and just bring that difference back to 10. This would give them an opportunity to take it back to single digits.
Yeah, it was a great feed there by Lingman. She just not able to control their in. She was really patient and found the option she wanted, but unfortunately for the Jets, fortunately for the Tigers though, they're back in possession.
Just feel like probably the last couple of minutes of the last quarter and here now early in this one, that the Tigers are back to one drive for the ball, and that's due to the extra pressure that the Jets are putting on in defence.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're probably having to work a little bit harder back there in attack, but to their credit, they seem to be handling it, but will need to change, I think, as the game goes on.
And that combination of Stevie Lingman and Sky Smith for the Jets in the defensive end is always going to put extra pressure on. They're both very dogged and determined. They contest everything, which is what you want from your wing defence particularly, and if you can, centre can do that too, all the better.
Yeah, look, definitely. It's like the Jets have, gone with their more experienced players in this quarter particularly to do the job. So much better, more patient build-up by the Jets there. Well done, Ryan. Just reshuffling out and putting herself in a bit better position to make that shot.
Something Sam does particularly well, that refeed around the circle edge. She has good speed with the ball and her footwork to be able to set that positioning up.
Great touch there by Smith.
She had really good distance, hands straight up in the air.
Yeah, really, really disciplined with her hands over pressure and was able to win the ball back from that position, which is looks easy, but it's actually quite hard to do because your automatic reaction is to want to shorten your distance and attack that ball, but well done to her.
And bring the hands in early, whereas you need to leave them in position until the ball's actually released. There is some tough defence going on out there.
Yeah, look, all players putting their body on the line. Obviously, to be the inaugural Ruby champions is the title that both teams and all players and coaches want. So it's not unexpected that they are going to fight to that last whistle.
I have a feeling that Jazz James and Bryony Payne have been teammates somewhere in the past as well. So I'm sure they know one another particularly well. They've certainly come through age groups at a similar time.
Yeah, look, they both had a laugh after that little knock that they gave to each other. Both realised the significance of this afternoon's game, and nothing sinister in that contest they had. Lovely shot there.
Does look like we've had a change as well in positioning with the Tigers, with Emily Gage dropping back into goal shooter and Poppy Larson out to goal attack, which we may not have picked up earlier.
No, I did not pick that up. Some opportunities to change it up. Obviously, Larson provides a bit more of a taller option in that front line across that transverse, particularly off the centre pass.
Yeah, potentially Georgia Bloxham with her additional speed was just matching Emily Gage for movement. Emily Gage does have a really good hold when she is back in the circles, so she'll be wanting to work on that. But it's going to be tough against Ian Gilbert.
Yeah, look, definitely. But Larson, even though she is out in that goal attack position, is still playing that dominant role, I think, in that goaling circle.
And that's always a challenge for a goal attack, having a hard drive into the circle and then settling on the shot.
Yes.
To be able to put it through.
Definitely. Well done there. That was really creative by Sam Ryan to set that play and goal up for her team.
So the Korean Leagues Club Tigers had pushed it back out to 12. It's come back to 9 at the moment. So they're making some use of the ball when they get the opportunity and still making it really hard for the Tigers at this point.
Yeah, look, definitely. It really is only 4 or 5 turnovers that the Jets need, but the challenge for them is to continue to convert the ball off the centre pass.
Always great to see the players that are on the bench actively engaged in the game and supporting their teammates when they're out there.
Yeah, look, definitely, and particularly in this competition where the rolling subs exist, it's really important for the players to be engaged because they could be asked to go on at any second, really.
Mm-hmm. That ball not quite reaching the ring, but the Tigers not able to pull it in on that occasion. Shelley Razanoff is just positioning herself so well and reading that ball in the air.
Yeah, look, her and Maddie Ryan have been fantastic this afternoon. Have really created opportunities for themselves and each other and have been able to work as that unit to really shut down that attacking circle of the Jets so far this afternoon.
I do feel like every time Shelley does something really well and Gilbert at the other end decides that she needs to match it.
Yeah. Which is fantastic. We love to see the defenders, getting their hand to the ball and making it hard for the attacking lines.
Strong defence from Sam Ryan there. Just disrupting that ball down court, so making the Tigers reset from the sideline throw-in. Just saw an example of Georgia Bloxham's speed there on M Gage, where she was hanging off, and then just accelerated really fast.
Beautiful rebound will finish Poppy Larson.
Great shot again by Poppy Larson.
We may not have mentioned as well for the Jets that Olivia Ridley has come back into centre and Stevie Lingman has gone to the substitution bench at the moment.
Goal first for the Tigers. Let's see what she can do.
Yeah, that was a great play there by the Jets, but also equally great hunting opportunity by Maddie Ryan. She backed herself to come out. Wasn't quite successful, but hey, she had a go, which is what we love to see.
Yes. And we just heard through the commentary that there has been a change for the Tigers with Lynette Childs coming into goal defence.
Lynette Childs, another great up-and-coming athlete within the Queensland underage system, was awarded the Player of the Grand Final actually in the under 18 state titles. So fantastic to see her on this court this afternoon. Tigers are really blessed with lots of depth on their court, and it's great to see that their coach Burns is looking to her bench this afternoon.
And interesting that the change was Shelley Rosanoff, who we were just talking about and saying how well she'd been doing with shutting down space.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe just looking for a little bit of change in defensive pressure there. Sky Smith doing a great job of getting around and intercepting that ball.
So it was a big swing across the circle there by Rin, and it was taken really well by Ridley to try and open that space up a little bit. Lovely shot there by Ryan.
She did really well at just steadying herself, stepping in to get a little closer to the post, being able to use her body strength to put in that longer shot.
Yeah, look, definitely.
That short pass is always such a challenge when there's two defenders all around it.
And not only do does the feeder have to account for those defenders, they have to ensure that they aren't delivering a short pass, which is really deemed from hands to hands, not the distance that they may be away.
Yes.
From their teammates. So it's a really tricky and challenging pass to deliver.
You know, there's plenty of times where I've asked my players, rather than try and put that ball in when there's hands everywhere, to perhaps look up and fake it or go high so that it goes past.
Great turnover there by the Jets. The crowd loved it. It's great to see, such a big crowd for our grand final match this afternoon. And both teams got equal numbers in supporters. So, as we come to almost the last 3 minutes of this third quarter, it's really brought the crowd into the game, which is fantastic to see. The challenge for the players, though, is to not get caught up too much in that hype, to obviously use that to help lift them, but not get too caught up in it to distract them from their job.
There's so many great matchups across the court, and we just saw one of them there between Maddie Ryan and Bella Rin. Two players that I know have been in teams together in the past and, done lots of training work together. So it's always that challenge between being teammates and being opposition.
Definitely. Knowing their strengths, but also knowing, some of those weaknesses can be definitely, can help.
So Tigers, again, really getting caught static at the moment in their attacking end. So they had been doing such a fantastic job earlier about keeping the movement going and feeling like just coming into the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, look,
that's
definitely
not happening.
As it gets tired, and the Jets obviously keep chasing and chasing. Whilst they are ahead on the scoreboard, the challenge will be just to continue to maintain the structures and things that have been working for them.
Great defensive pressure.
Saying that though, they turned the ball over.
Yeah, Tigers really did a good job of returning the favour on that occasion. It was really good vision that we were seeing of how much the goal defence and goalkeeper were working together to shut down that space in the circle, keep their attackers away from the ball. And the Tigers have then been able to transition down court quickly and score. it goes from the Jets had an opportunity to pull it back to 8 to pushing the scoreline back out to 10.
Yeah, definitely. And, when the Jets are in touch, it certainly brings their crowd into it because they can sniff, that opportunity. The Tigers have done a great job to absorb that pressure and turn it back and continue to maintain the lead that they have.
Just going to wipe the cord after players went for a bit of a slide there.
Well, the cutest little ball girl and floor wiper you've seen. Obviously a Tiger supporter this afternoon.
Yes.
Great shot. Poppy Larson, she's been on fire all afternoon.
Yes, the Tigers supporters are fairly easy to spot with their ears on. Some have got their Tiger hats on. Plenty in the club colours.
Definitely.
Well, Charles had good front position there on that occasion, but the umpire just suggesting that she had her arm on her.
Lucky pick up there from the Jets on the edge of the circle.
Yeah.
Just over 30 seconds to go, boys. Let's cheer this last 30 home.
Great touch there by Lingman, but asking the ref to change her call, but Cara Winterborn wanting nothing of that.
Wow.
Doing a good job to disrupt. You look to see that the Jets Sapphire team are here this afternoon to support their Ruby teammates or club mates.
The Jets have done a really good job to hold this ball up when there's not much time on the clock.
Yeah, well done to the Jets to stop the Tigers from converting off that centre pass with about 20 seconds to go. So well done to the Tigers in to maintain that lead. But we see that the Jets were actually able to win that quarter by 2, which is something they obviously hadn't been able to do in those first 2 quarters. So what do you think changed for the Jets in that third quarter?
I feel like their defensive pressure really stepped up. That they were able to restrict the number of options that the Tigers had in attack, and that the Tigers are just now having one-off offers to the ball rather than 2, getting caught behind their players. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, look, definitely. We're in for a cracking last quarter, I feel.
Yes.
The scores is a little bit closer than what we had coming into out of half-time. So we're going to take a break and get ourselves set for this last quarter of the Ruby Grand Final. Welcome back to the Ruby Series Grand Final between the Carina Leagues Tigers and the Ipswich Jets. We are set for a jam-packed fourth quarter of this game. Currently the Tigers are in the lead 37 to the Jets 28. I'm joined again by Karen Top. Toppy, we talked about it off air. It's going to be a cracking last quarter, don't you think?
Absolutely. And with the Jets scoring the first goal of the last quarter, bringing it back to 8, Tigers are going to be looking to consolidate their lead and to continue to build on it at this point in time. Yeah, it does look like they've changed positions back in their shooting circle, with M. Gage going back out to goal attack and Poppy Larson into shooter, which is how they started the match.
Yeah, look, definitely. I think the challenge for the Tigers is to continue the clinical performance that they had, particularly in that first half. They were just so smart and controlled, and they had lots of options to the ball, and they were making great decisions in that third quarter. As we would expect, the Jets did come back hard at them, and whilst they were able to maintain that lead on the scoreboard, they probably stopped doing some of those little things that were working so very well for them in that first half, like having those offers to the ball, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and just on that occasion, you could see yet again Shelley Rosenoff's come back onto the court for the Tigers as well at goal defence, that they were really looking to have a crack at some of those cross-court balls. Didn't quite come off on that occasion.
Hard luck there by Poppy Larson. She did everything she possibly could to keep herself in play.
She did.
It was just that final little
touch on the post.
Touch on the post.
Yes. Players are not allowed to use the post to keep themselves in court or to balance. And you also can't pin a player to the post either. So Jets will just, if they can get this, get it back to 7, they'll feel like they've got the momentum.
Yeah, look, definitely. And I think they should hopefully take confidence by the fact they won that third quarter. But just not able to sink that shot on that occasion.
So this is where I feel things have just changed a little bit for the Tigers, where the transition down court is not working quite so effectively. Great eyes on that occasion from Georgia Blockton, just not quite timing it. Ooh.
No, her timing was off a little bit, but she was willing to have a go, and really with 1 quarter to go and her team down by 9 at the moment, she really probably does need to take those risks to try and win some ball back for her team. However, the attack end also have to hold up their end of the bargain by making sure that they go to goal, and with plays like that, it's going to make it really hard for them with the 12 minutes that's remaining in this match. Oh, really? That was thrown on 2.9 seconds, but
yes,
Jasmine Jane, the strain in her face, I think, would have given it away more than anything.
Yes.
Well done to her, though. She got the ball away.
I think we were both anticipating the whistle on that occasion. That's been more patient from the Tigers. And Poppy Larson just starting to show some of her experience at the moment, although not quite getting the shots.
She was successful on that second occasion, though.
So challenge for the shooters as fatigue sets in and the nerves or the pressure towards the end of the game starts to ramp up, how they deal with it. Sticking with their routines.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely important for them to rely on those shooting routines that they would have been working on all season. Particularly if they're unsuccessful with the shot before, and I think Larson showed a great example. She was unsuccessful on that first shot, but then really you could see her really taking her time on that second shot and was successful. So, like you said, a great sign of her experience.
Just on that occasion, Jazz James doing a great job of challenging the ball, but just showing sometimes the benefit of having a really tall wing attack in Bryony Payne.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we've got just over 10 minutes to go. The Tigers at the moment are just able to maintain their lead. anytime it looks like the Jets are coming back, they seem to settle themselves and get back on track. It was really good timing from Poppy on that occasion. She's just dropping the ball a little bit short at the moment on the first attempt.
Yeah, look, she is, but to her credit, she's following it in and able to rebound, which is whilst she and her coach, I'm sure, would want her to sink that first attempt, they'd absolutely want her to make sure that she's following for the rebound, and she's done that so very well. Just an example there of the Jets probably just trying to overplay it a little bit. You get that they're chasing and that they really do need to score, but it's that fine line between making the play and not. And in the situation that they're in at the moment, they need to make the play every time to give themselves any hope of, trying to claw back this lead.
Great shot there from Bellerin on that occasion under pressure.
It was a great shot at long range as well.
With Poppy and the rebounding element of shooting, it's always, I find, one of those challenges with young players to convince them that they know whether the ball's going to go in off their hand or not, and they have that advantage over the defender. And if they can follow it in, if they think it's going to be off, that they probably, majority of the time, are going to get it.
Yeah, definitely.
Timeout called by the Green Leagues Club Tigers.
So we see that there is a tactical timeout that has been called by the Tigers again in this instance.
8.5 minutes to go. We've got Tigers up by 11.
Yeah, look, I think probably a good opportunity for Coach Erin Burns to just give her players an opportunity to check in. They've got 8 minutes to go for their season, really, and for the grand final.
Interesting, though, as we saw that tactical timeout and the cameras were on the group, that the coaching staff were still sitting on the sideline even though the players had come in.
Yeah.
So rather than rushing to talk to the players straight up, they're being really measured in their approach, getting the players to organise themselves.
Yeah, definitely. It's giving them that opportunity. So obviously, from their perspective, it is just that opportunity to reset, regroup, come in as a team.
The Jets doing it a little differently. They were staying on court. We see a lot of Jets supporters and their Sapphire Series teams in the background that were getting excited seeing their faces on the screens here in the stadium. Great clearing long ball there from the Jets on the centre pass. It's probably one of their most direct approaches to post during the game.
Yeah, look, definitely.
It's exactly what you want to see.
In some ways, you do want them to just play with that freedom. There is only 8 minutes left of, the last game of the season, which happens to be grand final.
Yes. Tigers on that occasion just not quite able to finish it off, but then Jets, that's one of those moments.
Yeah, they've had a lot of those moments through the game, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've just not been able to connect to take advantage of the opportunity that they've created for themselves. Well done by Rosenoff there.
Great persistence on that occasion. It's also a challenge, I think, for the Tigers in this situation, where at the moment they are 12 goals up. The lead's been around about that for the entire match, yet they also know that any time they stop moving, the Jets will take that ball. And with only a short space of time left in the game, you can't afford to stop or play not to lose.
Yes.
And it's a tough regardless of whether you're up or down, I always think it's a tough situation to finish games off.
Definitely. But really, the mind game really, or the importance of that mindset, that definitely comes into play, particularly at the back end of games and quarters. And, you know, the challenge is really to continue, for the Tigers, like you said, to continue doing what they have been doing so very well. And it's great to see on that turnover there, there's lots of smiles down their defence end, yes. Really appreciating the, you know, that turnover and what that winning that ball back meant.
Just feeling like fatigue's hitting both teams a little at the moment. Feels like the intensity levels just dropped off potentially.
Yeah, definitely.
Jazz James with her little hands in and touches today, particularly around the circle edge, has been outstanding.
Yeah, she has just disrupted. She's been in everything. She's put herself in everything, particularly when she hasn't necessarily had the height advantage at times with her opponent at the moment in Bryony Payne, but her ability just to contest and kind of put herself amongst it has been fantastic, and as a result she's won some fantastic ball. And
it's really what you're after with your wing attack, just to be dogged and determined and to make the wing attack from the opposition work really hard.
Definitely. And through the work that she's been able to do at the front, she's also provided great protection for her, for Ryan and Rosanoff back in the circle defence. So often the work that a wing defence does is overlooked. You know, the spectacular intercepts or the turnovers that the circle defenders get on many occasions is because of the work that's been done at the front. And I think Jazz James has done a fantastic job at doing that, and she should be given credit for that this afternoon.
Yeah. Carina Lee's Club Tigers just pushing the scoreline out now in those last couple of minutes, leading 48-33 at the moment. 5 minutes to go on the clock in this grand final. At the moment, we're not anticipating a draw. We don't want to bring that on, and I probably shouldn't have said it.
Think we're going to see a few changes?
Yeah, look, definitely. I think you know, there may be some changes as we come out of this tactical timeout. Both teams will be wanting to finish this game off really strongly, because that's probably the lasting memory that they'll take into next season. You know, the Tigers obviously will be wanting to kind of continue the dominance that they've asserted throughout this game. The Jets, on the other hand, will be wanting to play with just, you know, some more freedom. We haven't probably seen them playing with as much freedom as what they would be used to. Much of that is because of the fantastic defence that has been applied on them by the Tigers this afternoon. But
we just got to see there a couple of the young Tigers who played in their under-16 team recently. Erin Joyce being one of them. They're excited to see their faces on the screens as well. So we do have one change that we can see at the moment, with Grace Hughes for the Tigers coming into goal shooter. It also looks like the Jets have made a change there as well, with, say it's Emily Salmons that's come into goalkeeper, and Gilbert pushing out to goal defence. Bryony Payne's dropped into goal shooter. Bella Rin at goal attack and Sam Ryan at wing attack. So the Jets are continuing to explore and see if they can find ways to still pressure the Tigers right up to the very end.
Yeah, great to see that both coaches looking to their bench to finish off this game. Particularly the Tigers, I thought, you know, Poppy Larson has had a stellar game this afternoon. But to, you know, for Erin Burns to look to her bench and to bring on youngster Grace Hughes in this occasion is fantastic. And, you know, it will be invaluable experience that she'll take out of that, having watched, but also now getting that opportunity to be part of it. Oh, hard luck there, Gage. Connecting with her head on the way out.
Grace was also part of the underage teams that played here at state titles a couple of weeks ago. She's certainly been continuing to develop her game in recent years. She's had some challenges with injuries. She's such a tall athlete, and as with many of our tall athletes, it takes them a little while to grow into their body.
Yeah, definitely. But great to see her win this Tigers line and just, you know, playing throughout the season. You see that there's been a change, a rolling sub change to the goal attack position, with Robinson coming on into goal attack.
Which will be exciting for her and for the Tigers.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's bring them home, fans. Let's get right behind them.
Said fantastic for these younger athletes to get a taste of what a grand final at this level is like.
It's been a great atmosphere, as you said, here in the stadium, and we do have Lucy Benjamin from Jets and Katie Walker from Tigers who are commentating in the game today. To their credit, they've been very fair throughout, as they've been commentating to the crowd here in the stadium.
Yeah, look, wonderful to have them on the on-court commentary this afternoon, really getting behind their teams and encouraging the spectators that are here today to do the same. Great shot there by Bryony Payne.
So with just under 2 minutes to go, and the Korean Leagues Club Tigers in front, 50-35. That 15-goal lead at this point in time is looking a little insurmountable.
Yeah.
Or perhaps a lot insurmountable at this point in time. Tigers just wanting to continue to work hard towards the end, giving those young players who've just come on the court some experience. Challenge, even with our tall players, of where the ball's placed for them to be able to pull it in.
Yeah, that one just going over Grace's head. Probably not a great angle.
And Gilbert showing her versatility, coming out and playing goal defence after being back in the circle at keeper all game.
She's had a great game for the Jets this afternoon, Em Gilbert. She's really, again, put herself in play and won lots of ball back for her team this afternoon.
Let's get around these girls.
We're in the final minute now.
Tigers just wanting to really work the ball onto the circle edge. Jets are doing their utmost to keep them away in these dying seconds of the game. Just not quite able to connect with Grace Hughes, their shooter at the moment.
Yeah, look, I mean, even though the score is well done there by
Wonderful scrapping by the Tigers.
It was quite spectacular from Tash Robinson. She is an athlete that has amazing speed.
Right to the very last whistle.
You know, it was fantastic to see her get up off her feet and get the ball.
Did a great job to reground that foot as she got up and then before she touched it again.
So with just under 10 seconds to go, great shot there by Robinson.
Great shot by Natasha Robinson.
Had a few nervous shots before that, but to her credit, she can claim the last shot of the game for the Korean Leagues Tigers, who take out the inaugural Ruby Series Grand Final this afternoon in a really dominant and clinical performance.
Yeah, they've been the strong team throughout the season, been leading by example and by their performances on court. So really pleasing to see them being able to finish off the season with a strong grand final. Jets made them work for it throughout. Probably just the scoreline blew out again there in the last couple of minutes. But until then, I had the thought that Jets could come back at any time.
Yeah, definitely. Credit to the Ipswich Jets this afternoon. They probably let that lead get away from them a little bit early in that match and weren't able to claw their way back. But to their credit, they fought to the very end. Congratulations, though, to the Tigers. Like you said, have been dominant throughout the season and certainly finished their season off in dominant style by claiming victory in this Ruby Series Grand Final. Lots of smiles all around from them like you would expect. But, yeah, well done to them.
Yeah, and particularly because in the previous competition, the Tigers had had some really tough years where they were struggling to put consistent performances out on court. They've, as I said earlier, done a lot of work on their team culture, their game management, how they train, developing their ability to put intensity out on the court for a full game. And we saw that culminate out there in a really outstanding grand final performance today.
Yeah, definitely. All of their players stood up, particularly those younger ones, players like Alice Morga, Grace Hughes when she had her opportunity, Gage, they all did their job, and they were led, so very well by those experienced players in their line like Poppy Larson and Rosenoff. So well done to them.
Yeah, and for players like M. Gage, who's from Redlands, and for a long time at Redlands while they were part of Tigers, being between Metro and Redlands, that they hadn't necessarily had a lot of players coming through. She made the team a couple of years ago. She's continued to develop her game. There's now a number of other Redlands players coming through as well, and that's great to see continued development in all of our associations.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic to see such great depth and youth coming through, particularly in the Carina Leagues Club Tigers team this afternoon. They've got Queensland underage players. They've got players that have been part of the region or the club, as you said, for many years. So great reward and effort to them. Likewise to the Jets as well, who really fought their way to make, to put themselves in a position to make this grand final this afternoon, and were really gallant in their performance. Did everything that they possibly could and gave themselves every opportunity, but were just outplayed this afternoon by, a fantastic overall team effort by the Tigers.
It's been an outstanding game of netball this afternoon for this Ruby Series grand final. Presentations will happen here shortly, and then we go to the big one, the Sapphire Series game.
So we're going to take a break, Toppy, and we will be back for the big dance between the Brisbane North Cougars and the QUT Wildcats as we watch the grand final captains speaking. But we'll see you shortly, and we're looking forward to another fantastic match.
Be back soon.
That was the ultimate